All right, we're back with more Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. Welcome to the Sanctuary, everyone. I'm Cruising your host. Once again, we're going through the Viper questline. Last episode, we stumbled across some victims of Ik Sok Jmajun. I am probably butchering that name, so if anyone wants to tell me in the comments how badly I butchered the name, go ahead and do so. Anyways, we've got some information. We, as it stands, who was it again? What was her name? Innocent Stork is gathering information, and the twin adders have been, informed of developments. So, time to not waste any more time. Oh, before I forget, we're on level 85, which means we've got, I believe, some new attacks. Did we? No, we did not. No new attacks for level 85. Let's get right down to it with the level 85 quest, Vipers on the Hunt. I had a bad feeling when I woke up this morning, and sure enough, Ik Sok Jmajun has struck again. Elias and Innocent Stork are trying to narrow down where it'll appear next, based on the reports. So far, they've come up empty. I hear Goliath is over at Fall Gourd Float talking to witnesses. Let's go see what he's learned. The float of all places, eh? There he is. Thank you for coming. I expect Keshkwa has shared some of the details, but it's even worse than we thought. Ik Sok Jmajun grows increasingly bold, with deadly consequences. For a blessing, the people here remain calm, though we must act quickly to avoid widespread panic. The adders have called upon everyone with information to share and asked that they gather here. As we requested that any detail be reported, no matter how small, we find ourselves somewhat inundated. I'm certain, however, that among the accounts are clues vital to locating our quarry. We can help with that. All we gotta do is ask folks around here what they've seen, right? Yes, that would be helpful. Perhaps you could start near the Aetheryte, while Chris asks those over by the Bobbing Cork. All right, let's look for some information. I was passing through the North Shroud when I saw a frightful creature with immense red wings. It was a little too far away to see clearly, but it seemed to be battling a group of smaller beasts, which it promptly slaughtered before flying away. Ugh. While passing through, I heard that some fiend was on the rampage over in the East Shroud. I didn't think much of it at first, but when I saw all the people coming from that direction and the looks on their faces, I decided to stay put. Good thing I did too, or I might have died. I saw it, flying over the Central Shroud. With each flap of its massive wings came a powerful wind, bearing the scent of blood. So noxious and suffocating. It was all I could do not to vomit where I stood. Everyone got a story to share, but nothing that seems to point where Ik Sok Jmajun might strike next. You do any better? North, East, and Central Shroud, huh? Folks I asked said it was in the South. I tell you, it must be trying to make the whole damn forest its territory. Hold on now. One of the guys I talked to was in the East Shroud. Your witness heard the beast was on a rampage. Mine said he never saw Iksok Shmajun, even though they should have been there at the same time. That's worth looking into, don't you think? Doesn't feel like much, but it's our only lead. I'm not saying this is the answer. Never know where a trail will take you till you follow it. We ought to go chat up that fella again. I'll take you to him. There he is. As I said before, I was traversing the East Shroud on an errand when I heard what sounded like the flapping of enormous wings. A moment later, I saw a wounded animal charging through the brush. As then I recalled the rumors of a monstrosity on the loose, realized I was in danger, and ran. So the critter was hurt but still able to make an escape? The only way it could have gotten away from Iksok Shmazun is if the bastard chose to let it go. Meanwhile, our friend here was close enough to hear the wings flapping, yet lived to tell the tale. An adventurer traveling alone would have been easy pickings. Why did Iksok Shmazun spare him? He was carrying something that no other adventurer had? All I had on me was some bottled up potions and ethers. But there was one other thing. I carry a potpourri filled with Girabani and wildgrass. An Alamegan custom, in case you're unaware. That's gotta be it. Lies will want to hear about this. Could you wait here a moment? Keshkwa has asked me to verify a theory of his. I shan't be long. It's exactly as you surmised. Most of those who'd seen Iksok Shmazun and lived to tell the tale are Alamegan adventurers. I knew it. It's gotta be that fragrance. A lot of animals have a powerful sense of smell. Iksok Shmazun's no exception, which makes it that much more sensitive to odors that it doesn't care for. Reckon the beast can't stand the wild grass in those potpourris. Oh, and fragrance. A lot like another kind of grass we got back in Tarab. Come to think of it, Iksok Shmazun never went near anywhere that grass was growing. If one man's meat is another's poison, perhaps the same can be said of aromas. Exactly. Now that we know what Iksok Shmazun can't stomach, we can use this information to drive it where we want. Then, it would behoove me to share our discovery with Innocent Stork. Given the information and contacts at her disposal, I dare say she'll help us find a way to utilize the fragrance to its maximum potential. I dare say you're right. Meantime, we'll head on over to Girabania and pick up some wild grass. Yes, by all means. We must do everything in our power to avert further tragedy. Many of the adventurers gathered here are so terrified of encountering Iksok Shmazun that they're considering abandoning the profession entirely. Several are yet fledglings. They had to contend with a foe far beyond their reckoning. They die before gaining enough experience to even be considered adventurers. Thought of their bright futures being snatched away like that is almost more than I can bear. This is the very reason I joined the Twin Adders, to prevent such senseless deaths. Therefore, I humbly request your cooperation in slaying the dreaded Iksok Shmajun. No need. I had every intention of putting the bastard in the dirt. To the matter at hand. A few moments ago, one of the adventurers mentioned that the wild grass we seek grows abundantly at Pike Falls. Once you've collected enough, let us rendezvous at Quarry Mill. I must warn you though, Girabania is home to some particularly vicious wildlife. Be on your guard. Yeah, I'm not really concerned. Haven't been here in a while. All right, there's one. Oh. Good night. There we go. That ought to do it. Much as I'd love to stick around and study the wildlife, we better get back to Quarry Mill. All right, back to Quarry Mill. Well, yes. You've done well to gather so much wild grass. As promised, I've called upon an innocent stork to advise us on our next steps. I've placed an order with an alchemist acquaintance for custom-made diffuser pouches, which we may employ to spread the aroma over a wide area while prolonging its potency. We will issue these pouches to Twin Adder units tasked with driving the beast into an isolated location of our choosing. Away from civilians and an ideal spot for the final showdown. That's good thinking. Indeed. Once the pouches have been produced, the beast is as good as ours. If I may, there is a further request I wish to make. Rather than slaying Iksok Shmajun outright, would you instead be able to capture it alive? The better to understand its behavior. Such knowledge will prove invaluable should predators of a similar nature trouble us in the future. That's a risk we can't afford to take, ma'am. Those hunters of yours tried baiting it with a carcass laced with sedatives, but Iksok Shmajun saw right through their plan. Demonstrated a degree of cunning to rival any man's. Even if we did capture it, it's only a matter of time before it escapes and kills again. There's only one way you can deal with a monstrosity like that. Slay it first chance you get. No half measures, no hesitation. Then we are left with no other choice. Pray forgive me for making such an ill-considered suggestion. I shall abandon all thoughts of capturing the beast, and instead turn my attention to the procurement of the diffuser pouches. You'll hear from me soon.
You ought to know by now what we're up against. Why even ask? She's got her own angle. Forget, I ain't the type to guess at folks' motivations. We should do us all a favor and put her cards on the table.
The rich and powerful are rarely so obliging.
Got that right. Since us salt of the earth all speak in our minds, there's a fear in you, but of what I can't tell. Go for your thoughts? Never know. I might be able to help.
Well, after talking with those adventurers, I can't help but feel a little scared of Iksok Shmazun, that's all. Anyway, I should return to Gridania to, make my report.
Folks always saying one thing but meaning another. Just when I was starting to believe I got in the hang of polite conversation. Ain't no forcing the issue, I know. Goliath has something to say, he'll say it when he's good and ready. So now we gotta wait on those pouches. Who knows how long that'll be. I'll keep an eye on things here, so I recommend you get ready to face Iksok Jmazun.
Alright, we'll take another break and we will be back with more. If you're watching on Twitch, stay tuned. If you're watching on YouTube, here are the links provided. See you in a bit.